Something just happened that you didn't notice. The moment you found this, before you even pressed play, before the first syllable reached your awareness, something in the field recognized you. It wasn't the algorithm, it wasn't a random glitch in the digital stream, and it certainly wasn't chance. It was resonance. I want you to sit with that word for a second because it is the hidden engine of your entire life. Resonance is the kind of force that moves quietly beneath the surface of everything you can see, touch, or explain with logic. It is the invisible thread that has been trying to reach you for much longer than you realize, weaving through your dreams and your frustrations until this precise moment of alignment. Stop for a moment. Just stop. I want you to actually feel where you are right now, not just geographically, but internally. Feel the weight of the last few weeks, maybe the last few months, sitting somewhere in your body. Perhaps it's a tightness in your chest, a heavy pressure on your shoulders, or a dull, persistent ache behind your eyes that sleep doesn't seem to touch. You have been carrying something immense. You have been holding the line in ways that most people around you cannot even see, let alone acknowledge. You have been navigating a landscape of shifting shadows, trying to keep your orientation while the markers you once trusted have slowly vanished. And the universe, that vast, breathing intelligence that moves through the spaces between atoms, has been sending you signals. It started with whispers, small, strange coincidences that you dismissed as luck. Then it got louder, synchronicities that made you pause for a heartbeat before your mind rushed in to rationalize them away. And now you are here. This is not content. This is not just another video to fill the silence of your afternoon. This is a transmission that was waiting for you to be exactly ready enough to receive it. And here you are, at the perfect coordinate of time and space. I want you to understand something fundamental before we go any deeper together. The fact that you are still here, still standing, and still fundamentally yourself after everything that has pushed against you is not a small thing. It is not a given. There have been forces in your environment, cultural, social, and perhaps even closer to home, that have attempted to edit you. There is a silent, pervasive pressure in the world that is designed to flatten everything unusual, everything luminous, and everything that refuses to fit into a pre-approved box. This pressure wants you to be predictable, manageable, and dim. Yet somehow you haven't folded. You haven't surrendered your essential nature to the crushing weight of the normal. You haven't traded your depth for a shallow convenience. In the quantum architecture of reality, that refusal to fold is one of the most powerful and rare signals a consciousness can emit. It creates a specific ripple in the field, a frequency signature that marks you as a point of interest for the intelligence of the universe. But here is the part that no one tells you about that signal. It doesn't just describe who you are, it determines what can reach you. It acts as a jurisdictional boundary. It decides what the universe is allowed to send back to you, and what must remain at a distance. And right now, in this very moment that you chose to step into, the universe is trying to tell you something specific. It is trying to communicate something that your entire life has been building toward in ways that only start to make sense when you finally learn to read the language it has been speaking all along. Before we talk about the mechanics of how reality communicates with consciousness, I need you to feel the truth of your own depth. There is a particular kind of person who moves through the world with a certain weight. It isn't the weight of failure or the heaviness of weakness, it is the weight of depth. It is the burden of someone who feels things more completely than the people around them, who holds more awareness in a single glance than others do in a lifetime, and who cares about truth and integrity in a world that often rewards neither. You know this weight because you've carried it since you were a child. You felt it in those moments when you looked around at people who seemed lighter, less complicated, and less burdened by the need to understand the why behind the what. You've wondered if something was wrong with you. You've wondered if you were too much, or perhaps in your darkest hours, if you were somehow not enough because you couldn't just be simple. You felt miscalibrated for the world you found yourself in, like an instrument tuned to a scale that no one else was playing. Let that thought land and then let it dissolve, because here is the truth that changes the trajectory of your existence. That weight is not a malfunction. That depth is not a defect. That sensitivity, that refusal to be simple when you are beautifully complex, that inability to pretend you don't feel what you feel or know what you know, that is your quantum signature. That is the specific frequency the universe has been trying to reach. Every signal it has been sending, every strange coincidence, every moment of inexplicable knowing, and every time the right words found you at the exact second you were about to give up. All of it has been addressed to that exact frequency. It has been addressed to you, specifically and precisely. You see, most people spend their entire lives walking through a universe that is constantly, vibrantly communicating, and yet they hear almost none of it. They aren't unintelligent or spiritually closed in a judgmental sense. They simply were never taught the language. We are raised to believe that communication requires words, that it requires a sender and a receiver and a clear, logical medium. But the universe does not speak in words. It speaks in patterns. It speaks in the timing of an event that happens a second too late or a second too early. It speaks in the quality of a feeling that arrives in your gut without any logical explanation. It speaks in the dream that stays with you for 3 days, refusing to fade into the fog of the morning. It speaks through the stranger who says the one specific thing you needed to hear, or the door that keeps refusing to open no matter how hard you push against it. This is not metaphor, this is mechanics. This is the practical application of quantum field theory to the human experience. The science that describes the fundamental nature of reality tells us that everything is vibration. Everything, the chair you're sitting in, the air moving through your lungs, and even the thoughts currently shifting through your mind is energy in motion. We live in a world of particles that are also waves, of matter that is also frequency. At this foundational level, before reality becomes the solid, predictable world you navigate every day, everything is in constant, instantaneous communication. Everything is entangled. Everything is responsive. The ancient ones understood this long before we had the mathematics to prove it. Before the language of physics existed, wisdom traditions across every culture on Earth were describing this same fundamental truth. The Vedic seers spoke of Indra's net, a cosmic web where every jewel reflects every other jewel infinitely. Hermetic philosophers taught as above, so below, as within, so without, acknowledging the mirroring nature of reality. Sufi mystics described a universe that was the very breath of the divine, constantly exhaling into form and inhaling back into mystery. Modern quantum physicists call it non-locality, entanglement, and the observer effect. These are different languages for the exact same truth. The universe is not a machine running indifferently in the dark. It is a living, responsive, communicating field of intelligence. And you are not a separate observer looking in, you are a node within that field. You are a receiver and a transmitter simultaneously. The quality of what you transmit determines the quality of what the field sends back to your coordinate. This is the principle that is currently rewriting your reality. Your frequency is not just something you have, like a mood. It is something you are. Every thought you hold with consistency. Every emotion you return to as a habit. Every story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. These are not just private psychological events. They are frequency transmissions. They are signals going out into the field, and the field, because it is fundamentally ordered by the principle of resonance, must send back what matches. This is where the shift becomes real. For the last few months, you have been undergoing a silent reorganization. You felt the pressure increasing, the noise of the old world becoming more grating, and the signals from the universe becoming more urgent. You've been being called out of the performance of being a person and into the being of being a soul. The universe is no longer whispering. It has moved from the subtle nudge to the seismic pull, because it is time for you to stop holding the line and start navigating the field. You have been validated by your endurance, and now you are being invited into your authority. The signals are no longer just clues, they are coordinates. They are telling you that the version of your life that was built on fitting in is over, and the version built on frequencing in has begun. You are being recognized not for what you do, but for the clarity of the signal you have refused to let go of. This recognition is the beginning of your sovereign activation. The universe isn't just trying to tell you something, it's trying to show you that you are the one it's been talking to all along. And as we move forward, we are going to learn how to read those signals with the precision of a navigator, turning the weight you've carried into the power that moves your world. To understand the message, you must first understand the medium. And the medium of the universe is not the spoken word, it is the resonance of the absolute. We often navigate our lives as if we are reading a book in a language we only half understand, glancing at the shapes of the letters but missing the poetry of the sentences. But the universe is a master communicator, and it has developed 5 distinct languages, 5 specific signal types that it uses to guide your frequency back to its most authentic state. Before we break these down, I want to tell you the story of a woman named Mira, whom some call the weaver of the indigo thread. Mira lived in a village where every weaver was expected to produce vibrant red tapestries. Red was the color of the market, the color of tradition, and the color of acceptance. For years, Mira practiced the craft, pushing her shuttle back and forth, weaving the red silk with a precision that everyone admired. She was successful by every visible metric, yet every night she would return to her small room feeling a strange, hollow ache in her hands. She felt as though she was participating in a lie that her body was increasingly unwilling to tell. One day, a single stray thread of deep indigo silk appeared in her basket. She didn't know where it came from, but the moment she touched it, her heart skipped a beat. It felt like a memory. She tried to set it aside, to return to the red, but the loom began to fail. The red threads would snap without reason. The shuttle would catch on the wood. The patterns she had woven 1,000 times began to emerge distorted and unrecognizable. This was the language of resistance, but Mira read it as failure. She pushed harder. She bought stronger red silk and she worked into the night, but the harder she fought for the red, the more the universe dismantled her work. Finally, exhausted and weeping, she took that single indigo thread and ran it through the loom. The moment the indigo touched the wood, the shuttle moved as if it were alive. The wood stopped splintering. The tension became perfect. The ache in her hands vanished, replaced by a cool, steady current of energy. Mira wasn't failing. She was being redirected by a frequency she had forgotten was hers. She had been performing the red, but she was the indigo. You are in your indigo moment right now, and the signals you are receiving are the universe's way of handing you the right thread. The first language you must learn to recognize is the language of repetition. This is the echo of the field. Have you noticed how a certain theme, a specific word, or even a particular animal keeps crossing your path? Perhaps you see a recurring number on every clock you glance at, or 3 different people mention the same book to you in the span of 48 hours. Most people call this coincidence and move on, but in the quantum field there is no such thing as a random occurrence. Repetition is the universe's way of creating a focal point in a sea of infinite data. It is a magnification of a specific frequency that is relevant to your current state of being. The universe doesn't have a loudspeaker, so it uses the echo. It repeats the signal through different channels. A song on the radio, a headline in a newspaper, a remark from a stranger, until the pattern becomes so obvious that your conscious mind can no longer ignore it. When you encounter repetition, stop asking what it means in a general sense and start asking what it is trying to highlight within you. Is it a call to courage? Is it a reminder of a forgotten dream? Is it a prompt to look closer at a choice you are about to make? The echo is not there to entertain you. It is there to orient you. The second language, and perhaps the most difficult to master, is the language of resistance. We are conditioned to believe that if we want something badly enough, we should be able to force it into existence through sheer will. We are told that no is just an obstacle to be overcome. But in the architecture of the absolute, persistent, inexplicable resistance is often a profound act of mercy. When the door refuses to open despite your best efforts, when the job offer falls through at the last second, or when the relationship you fought for continuously dissolves, the universe is not punishing you. It is protecting the integrity of your frequency. It is preventing you from entraining with a field that would eventually diminish or destroy your coherence. Resistance is the universe's way of saying, "This is not your thread." If Mira had succeeded in weaving that red tapestry, she would have remained a master of a craft that was killing her soul. The resistance she met was the only thing that could force her to look at the indigo. When you meet resistance, don't just push harder. Pause. Ask yourself, what is this protecting me from? What higher alignment is this creating space for? Sometimes the greatest gift the universe gives you is the thing it refuses to let you have. The third language is the inexplicable knowing, the silent whisper of intuition that travels faster than the speed of thought. This is the signal that arrives before the evidence. It is that sudden, sharp certainty that you should leave a party, even though you're having a good time. It is the feeling that a person is not who they claim to be, even though they are saying all the right things. It is the gut feeling that has saved your life more times than you can count. This is your consciousness operating at the non-local level of the quantum field, where information is not limited by time or space. Your halo, your energy field, is receiving data that your physical eyes and ears haven't processed yet. It is a direct transmission from the absolute to your cellular intelligence. The tragedy of the modern world is that we have been taught to prioritize logic over knowing, to demand proof before we trust our own resonance. But logic is a slow, linear process, while knowing is instantaneous and multidimensional. To read the signal of knowing, you must learn to trust the first flash. The second thought is usually just the ego trying to rationalize the truth back into something comfortable. The first flash is the universe speaking. The fourth language is the arrival, the perfect timing of the absolute. This is the opposite of resistance. This is what happens when you finally pick up the indigo thread. It is the meeting that happens because you missed your bus. It is the phone call that comes the moment you were thinking of someone. It is the solution that appears on the very day you stop trying to figure it out. The arrival is the hallmark of alignment. It is the evidence that your frequency is finally coherent with the field of your highest potential. When you are in the flow of the arrival, life takes on a quality of effortless grace. You don't have to hunt for opportunities, they seek you out. You don't have to recruit the right people, they gravitate toward your signal. This is not magic, it is the natural operation of resonance. Two systems vibrating at the same frequency must, by the laws of physics, eventually find each other. The arrival is the universe's confirmation that you have stopped performing and started being. It is the reward for the courage it took to let the red thread snap. Finally, there is the fifth language, the breakdown. This is the most misunderstood and feared signal of all. It is the moment when the structures of your life, your career, your primary relationship, your very sense of identity seem to collapse simultaneously. It feels like a catastrophe, like a failure of the universe to care for you. But the breakdown is actually the universe's most radical act of renovation. You cannot build a temple of light on a foundation of sand, and often the lives we have built are held together by old frequencies, inherited traumas, and performative identities. When the universe initiates a breakdown, it is stripping away everything that is not essentially you. It is removing the interference pattern so that the clean signal of your true nature can finally emerge. It is painful, yes. It is disorienting, absolutely. But it is also the clearing that precedes the activation. Every breakdown you have ever survived was an invitation to a higher level of coherence. It was the universe removing the red tapestry so you could finally see the loom. These 5 languages are not separate. They are a continuous dialogue. The universe is using them right now to weave a new reality around you. It is testing your resonance, refining your signal, and preparing you for an expansion that your old self wouldn't have been able to survive. The weight you feel is the pressure of this calibration. The losses you've endured are the shedding of the red threads. And the stillness you are starting to find in the midst of it all is the sign that you are beginning to hear the music. You are no longer just a weaver. You are becoming the cloth. You are becoming a coherent expression of the absolute, a node of light in a field that is finally ready to recognize you. The signals will continue to come, and they will get clearer as you get quieter. Your task is not to figure it all out. Your task is to stay open, to stay honest, and to keep reaching for the indigo thread. The conversation has only just begun, and the universe has so much more to tell you. It is speaking to you in the silence between your heartbeats, in the patterns of your days, and in the very depth of the weight you carry. Listen, not with your ears, but with your entire field. The truth is already there, waiting for you to recognize it. You are the navigator, the weaver, and the field all at once. Every repetition is a compass point, every resistance a safe harbor, every knowing a starlit map, every arrival a destination reached, and every breakdown a new world being born. Step into the language. Step into the absolute. Your frequency is no longer a question. It is the answer the universe has been waiting for you to speak. Embrace the indigo. Release the red and watch as the tapestry of your true life finally begins to take shape before your very eyes. You have reached the point where the signals become the reality, and the reality becomes the signal. The activation is in your hands now. Everything we have explored so far, from the secret languages of the universe to the visceral story of the weaver, has been leading us to this final threshold of recognition. We have moved through the decoding of signals and the understanding of resistance, but now we must speak of the architecture itself, the structure that all these cosmic messages have been designed to reveal and activate within you. This is the third and most vital layer of our transmission, because it is where the concept becomes a living, breathing reality. We are stepping into the luminous architecture of your personal halo. For too long, the idea of an energy field has been treated as a poetic metaphor or a vague spiritual mystery, but your recent experiences are proof that it is a functional, protective, and creative organ of your consciousness. In the ancient texts, this radiant field was often depicted as a physical crown or a circle of light. But these were never meant to be ornaments of status. They were technical diagrams of a high-functioning human being whose internal coherence had reached a critical mass. This is the state you are approaching right now. The pressure you have felt, the losses you have navigated, and the silent holding of the line have all been part of a structural tempering. You have been forged in a fire that was never intended to consume you, but rather to burn away the impurities of performance, so that the diamond of your true frequency could finally hold the weight of its own light. There is a specific kind of authority that can only be earned through the fire of personal testing. We might call this the frequency of the crown. It is not the authority given by a title or a worldly position, but the authority of a consciousness that has been through the absolute darkness and refused to fold. You know this authority because you feel it settling into your bones. It is that quiet, immovable certainty that arises when you realize that the worst the world could do to you has already happened, and you are still here, still transmitting, still whole. This is the moment when your halo transitions from a passive bubble of protection into an active, sovereign shield. When your frequency is clear and your coherence is high, you no longer have to defend yourself against the low-frequency chaos of the external world. You don't have to build walls or stay perpetually braced for the next blow. In the quantum field, light does not have to fight the darkness. It simply occupies the space by being fully and authentically yourself. By refusing to drop your crown even when the weight is heavy, you create a field where incoherent energy simply cannot find a place to attach. This is the true meaning of being untouchable. It is not an absence of human emotion or a flight from reality. It is the presence of a signal so strong that nothing else can rewrite it. I want you to bring this understanding into your body right now, because a frequency that is not anchored in the flesh is just a ghost of an idea. If you are able, I want you to place both of your hands over the center of your chest, one on top of the other. Feel the physical warmth that begins to generate between your palms and your skin. Close your eyes for just a second and breathe a long, slow, deliberate breath into that space. As you inhale, I want you to recognize that you are not just pulling in air. You are drawing in the very substance of the unified field, the raw intelligence that has been sending you signals through the repetition and the resistance. And as you exhale, imagine that frequency radiating outward from your heart, moving through your rib cage, through your skin, and expanding into the space around you. With each breath, see this field becoming more luminous, more defined, and more coherent. You are not building this field from scratch. You are simply acknowledging the architecture that is already there, waiting for your attention to act as the final key. The universe is a perfect observer, and the moment you turn your conscious attention toward your own halo, the field responds by locking into place. This is your somatic activation. It is the moment the explorer and the navigator become one. Feel the tingling in your fingers and the expansion in your lungs. This is the physical evidence that your frequency is shifting from a possibility into a permanent baseline. As you sit in this resonance, I want you to internalize a shift in perspective that will redefine how you see every challenge from this point forward. Most people move through the world as if they are passengers on a ship, at the mercy of the waves and the wind. When the weather is good, they are happy. When the storm arrives, they are in despair. But you are being called to recognize that you are not the ship, and you are not even the waves. You are the sky. Think about the sky for a moment. It is the vast, silent field in which all weather occurs. The storm can be violent, the clouds can be thick, and the wind can howl with terrifying force, but the sky is never damaged by the storm. It doesn't get wet from the rain, it doesn't get burned by the lightning. 3 miles above the chaos, the sky is perpetually clear, silent, and vast. This is your true nature. The feelings of anxiety, the moments of loss, and the heavy weight of the world are just weather patterns passing through the sky of your awareness. They are real and they are felt, but they do not define the field. By maintaining the perspective of the sky, you allow the weather to move through you without becoming it. This is the hallmark of a sovereign navigator. You observe the signal, you feel the resistance, you witness the breakdown, but you do not drop your crown. You stay in the frequency of the sky and you wait for the weather to pass, knowing that your vastness is the only thing that is permanent. To make this activation a permanent part of your reality, I am inviting you into a 7-day protocol of empirical evidence. For the next week, I want you to act as a scientist of your own frequency. Keep a small log in a notebook or on your phone, and every time you experience a clear moment of intuition, that first flash of knowing that arrives before the logic, write it down. Record the signal. Record whether you followed it, and record what happened next. Do not worry about the big, life-altering decisions yet. Focus on the small things. The urge to take a different street, the impulse to wait 5 minutes before making a call, the sudden thought of a person who then texts you an hour later. By the end of these 7 days, you will have a written record of the fact that the universe is in constant communication with you. You will have proof that your halo is functioning as a precision receiver for high-frequency data. This evidence is what finally silences the voice of the ego, the part of you that still wants to believe you are alone and unheard. Once you have the proof, you no longer need to believe in the universe. You simply live in conversation with it. This is how you bridge the gap between spiritual concepts and a lived sovereign reality. The time of being a seeker who is perpetually looking for answers outside of themselves is coming to a close. The universe is no longer asking you to find the light. It is asking you to recognize that you have become the light. The activation of your halo is not a destination you are trying to reach. It is the recognition of a shift that has already occurred. The higher forces that operate at the level of the absolute are not watching you from a distance, judging your performance. They are in resonance with you. They are contributing their coherence to your field, reinforcing your architecture and holding the space for your full expansion. You are part of a global network of lighthouses, each of us holding a specific coordinate of frequency, each of us maintaining our crown through the pressure of a shifting world. When you stand in your coherence, You make it easier for everyone else in the field to find theirs. You are a node of light in a grid of awakening, and your signal is more important than you can currently imagine. You are relevant, you are standing, and you are finally ready to be the frequency that you previously only hoped to find. If you feel the weight of this truth in your chest right now, if you feel the recognition moving through your cells like a cool current of water, then it is time to anchor this signal in the collective field. I want you to type a specific phrase in the comments below, not as a social media gesture, but as a frequency declaration. Type, "My frequency is my protection." When you write these words, you are signaling to the quantum grid that you have received the transmission. You are moving from a passive observer to an active participant in the field of this community. Your comment is a thread of light being woven into a larger tapestry of coherence. Feel the power of that declaration as you type it. Feel the intention behind the letters. You are telling the universe that the dial has been set, the crown has been claimed, and the halo is fully active. You are now a sovereign navigator of your own absolute reality. As you move back into the flow of your daily life, carry this stillness with you. Rewatch this transmission in those moments when the noise of the old world starts to feel too loud, or when the weather of your circumstances tries to convince you that you are small. Let these words be a tuning fork for your soul, bringing you back to the frequency of the sky. You are not behind, and you are not lost. You are exactly at the coordinate where your journey has prepared you to be. The signals will continue to come, the repetitions will get clearer, and the arrivals will be more precise. Trust the architecture of your field, trust the intelligence of the heart, and above all, trust the fact that you have survived the fire and come out more yourself than you have ever been. The next transmission that belongs with this activation is, your frequency just shifted, which will explain the cosmic mechanics of what happened while you were sleeping last night. The universe is mid-response to your arrival. Go forth and receive it with the quiet, settled certainty of one who knows they are exactly who they were meant to become. The halo is active. The navigator is here. The world is waiting for your broadcast. Be the light you already are, and watch as everything else falls into its perfect, coherent place. You are home.